Hey everybody, it's Natasha. We are back here today for a brand new timeless pick a card reading, whether this is your first time stopping by my channel or you are a returning subscriber. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much to those of you who have been liking and commenting on my videos and also subscribing to my channel. Your support and feedback really means so much to me. Thank you for those of you who have booked readings and have also donated to my channel. I really deeply appreciate you so very much. If you're new to my channel, on this channel I like to make tarot pick card readings as well as using other divination methods to bring forth messages for your highest good to know. If you are interested in booking a personal reading with me, my services are listed in my video description down below. I am currently offering readings through my Etsy shop. Booking depends on availability. In today's reading, we are doing things a little bit differently. I wanted this to have a more relaxing vibe to it, so that's why the lights are dimmed and I have the candles out. So this reading today may be a little bit triggering, so please only watch when you feel drawn and called to and ready, because we are going to be diving into both your light and your shadow side. We are going to be using water scrying as well as my scrying mirror for this to get messages from your light and shadow side. And then we will also be pulling some tarot and oracle cards for you. So if you would like to take a moment to pause the video to really ground, center yourself, clear your mind, and take a few deep breaths. Call in your spirit guides, your guardian angels, higher self, universe, divine, and ask them to help direct you to a group or groups that contain the information for your highest good to know right now. And when you are ready, we have 3 crystals that you can choose from. If you feel drawn to more than one group, different groups may have a message for you. Please always remember that you are the ruler of your own reality, and this is a general reading, so please only take what resonates and feels right to you. This is not to dictate the course of your life or alter anything for you. This is more of a mirror reflection back to you to reflect the energy. So if something doesn't resonate, either you are not ready to hear the message or the message was meant for somebody else at this time. So it's very important to only go with the information that you feel resonates with you. If it doesn't fit, don't try to mold it to you. Don't try to make it fit. Just let what resonates resonate with you and leave the rest behind. So our groups today are group number 1 with the malachite crystal. It's a very pretty card. It's a very pretty card. A very pretty crystal. I love this one. It's so velvety looking. Over here we have group number 2 with the shungite. And over here we have group number 3 with the Hello Kitty labradorite. So beautiful. When you are ready, I will have timestamps listed in the video description down below so that you may skip ahead to the group that you feel the most drawn to when you are ready. And I will see you all in your chosen piles. Hello, group number 1. For those of you who felt drawn to this group, hello and welcome to your reading. So I am going to be tapping into the water first to get a message from your light side, to get some qualities of your light side, and then after that I will be tapping into your black scrying mirror to get some messages about your shadow side, and then we will do some tarot, and then we will pull some cards for you. So let's get started on your water. You are very loving. You have a warm depth to you. You have a very protective nature about you. I am feeling that you have a gentleness in your approach. When you are dealing with other people's, you have love, you have consideration, you have empathy. I am feeling somebody who definitely puts the needs of others first. And you have so much love to give. You have a bit of a quiet demeanor to you, or more of a reserved nature, at least before you get to know some people. And remember, this is a general reading, so please only take what resonates with you. But I am picking up on somebody who is very considerate about other people's feelings. You're willing to listen to all sides of a story. I feel like you definitely have very in tune listening skills. You're very perceptive over people's emotions. I'm getting that you want other people to feel heard. You want to make people feel validated. I'm seeing an image of a snow leopard in my mind, so that might be an important spirit animal guiding you at this time. But I am definitely seeing somebody very considerate, somebody very empathetic, somebody who really cares about the needs of others, who wants to make people feel seen, heard, empowered, validated. I feel like you've been through a lot and you notice like to put somebody else in your shoes, or you know what it's like to be in a rough pair of shoes. You are somebody that doesn't want other people to have to go through the same things you did. And because of this, you have a more considerate approach. You have a more empathetic approach. You have a very warm demeanor, very protective, especially over other people's feelings. You have a warm grace to you, consideration, gentleness, kindness, open-minded, protective. So that's what I'm getting from your water. Now let's dive into your black scrying mirror to get some messages about your shadow self. Trigger warning as well. Before we get in, I may say some messages that are a little bit, that may be hard to digest. So again, just take what resonates with you and leave out what does not. I'm almost feeling like a void, an emptiness. It's kind of like you're going about your surroundings, not really feeling like you're in your body, or not really feeling like you truly exist. I feel like you're constantly discrediting yourself, trying to put other people first. And on the flip side of your angelic qualities, of your light qualities, of putting other people's needs first, you often leave yourself behind. And there's a little bit, I'm feeling not even just a little bit, there is some resentment that gets stuffed down into your subconscious mind, feeling like your needs aren't taken care of. And yeah, it's like anger and numbness. And on the outside, it's like you're feeling burnt out by all the love you give to other people, all the time, energy, support. But I'm feeling like in your subconscious mind, there's some anger building up. And it's not necessarily always because, like, outwardly, objectively, because of the people. I mean, sometimes they could definitely be triggering that if they're taking too much on purpose, especially. But I feel like there's resentment building because of a wound in your past, especially childhood, to where your needs were never the one taken care of, to where you were always the one looking out for somebody else, that your opinions were not heard, you weren't validated, and because of this, you had empathy that grew so that you want other people's voices to be heard, but you often silence yourself to suit the comfort zones of other people. And in the meantime, it's like you're diminishing yourself. It's almost this feeling of like, where do you exist if you're constantly shoving down your own needs and hiding them in your subconscious mind? You feel selfish when you take time to yourself. You feel selfish when you say enough is enough. Whether you outwardly realize this or not, this is something hanging around in your subconscious. Maybe you were called selfish as a child for having needs that every child needed. Maybe you were called selfish for being a child because you had needs, because you needed to be taken care of, and that was your caretaker's job. And they made you out to be entitled, selfish. But let me clue you in here. Children are meant to be taken care of. Children are meant to have needs, and that includes your own. There's a message coming in about being your own nurturing parent, validating your own voice so that you can finally be heard. Showing up for yourself so that there's not this pit of loneliness that always surrounds you no matter how many people are around you. I'm getting a closing feeling on my throat chakra, so this makes me feel like again, like a closed throat chakra, or like your needs haven't been heard. It's almost like you go so long taking care of others, making others people feel heard, validated, seen, loved, but in the meantime, it's like you're diminishing yourself because you need that attention from yourself, and you look for it in other people. You're a very good person, and I want to tell you that, Group 1. You're a beautiful person, but you need to also have that love reciprocated, especially from yourself. I just heard wounded divine feminine, so that might apply to some of you. This can manifest in forms of codependency, for example, finding your worth and validation in other people-pleasing tendencies. I just heard something about the ego. Sometimes you do things, you're actively doing things for other people because you feel like that's the only way that your worth is going to be validated, rather than people loving you for the real you. And I feel like people do love you for the real you, but because of this inner child message here about you feeling like you have to be doing for others in order to fulfill yourself too. It's like you connect your sense of self-worth to this. I just saw a ladybug as well in my mind's eye, and a horse. Yes, it does feel like there is some repressed anger under the surface, or non-vocalized anger hiding under the surface in your subconscious mind. So this is what I have for your scrying. Let's move on to your cards. Alright, so we are going to get some more messages regarding your light and shadow side. Alright, what messages do you have for number one's highest good in regards to their shadow and their light? I just heard Spirit say that you are worthy, and you're worthy of your goals. I feel like some of you pour so much into other people that you feel like there's a lack of support around you, when it's really just you needing to pour into your own cup. Be your own cheerleader as well, because you invest so much into others that you are ignoring yourself. So we have Anna, however this is pronounced, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundation, divine plan. And pillar of light, your vibration is rising, you are the oracle. You definitely are rising up into a state of empowerment. I feel like this is, a lot of you are currently going through a major pivotal moment in your life, a big life lesson. something that your soul came here to learn, something that your soul is finally learning in this life that maybe it did not in your last life or through other lifetimes, but you are learning something very important. And it feels like empowerment. It feels like especially empowerment over yourself. When you empower yourself, you empower other people, and you are even more of a bright shining light. Don't let other people that are constantly taking make you feel like it is selfish the moment that you put your needs into your own hands and you put yourself first, because I feel like you are the last person that is selfish, and you need to be more selfish. You need to, I just heard Spirit say, gift yourself something. So that might be a very specific message for somebody out there. But you give the most love and the most genuine love, especially when you are focusing on yourself, is kind of opposite as that may seem, is in regards to giving love to others. This is the way that you empower yourself and that you can healthily flow from your own cup into others, and it doesn't drain you. Yeah, you are a powerful light. You are healing. You are a healer, but your own healing needs to come first. I just heard a empowered giver, a starseed of light. Some of you may have a primary love language in physical touch or gift giving. And maybe all this time you went thinking that it was a different one, and that's just a specific message, random message, or that you need to be open to receiving gifts from other people more, because you're constantly giving and you need to feel more selfish. That's what you need. Like, it's something that you oppose, and you may oppose in others, but it's because there's a lack of that in yourself, and there's that inner child begging for that attention to go on to you. So accept help from others, accept gifts, accept love, compliments, nurturing, or receiving gifts might be for some reason Spirit said might be healing for you. I just saw an image of a present. Okay. We have the empty room, so that really brings me back to that message of kind of that void feeling I was getting earlier in the scrying. You're constantly thinking of ways to innovate a space. You're constantly thinking of ways of making things better. You have a brilliant mind. You're a very creative individual. You want to bring beauty to a space and harmony into other people's lives. You want to improve the lives of others, but at the same time, again, it's that feeling of diminishing yourself, and because it feels like your inner child is locked inside of this empty room, because you have not allowed yourself to receive for so long. You feel like your worth was fulfilled by giving to others for so long, and maybe now you're finally getting to know yourself, and it's both frightening, it's scary. You're really confronting your innermost demons right now, but you're also discovering a new world that exists inside of you, like a new galaxy, exploring yourself for the first time ever. So facing the stillness can be very scary. If we feel like we've been running it for so long, or finding ways to keep ourselves busy. Maybe this can come in the form of addictive shopping habits, or brightening up your space, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's more so the task-driven behavior that is occupying your mind, especially when it comes to other people, that it's like you're avoiding focusing on yourself because you're scared to feel that empty room, that empty space around you, when it's really a galaxy full of stars and a journey into getting to know who you really are. There's so much inside of you that is beautiful, that is brilliant, and the Spirit is saying that you deserve to see all of your own galaxy's beauty, even though it may seem dark, even though it also may be very boundless. This is a new journey, and it's not selfish for you to explore yourself. I also got a message that some of you are afraid about the people around you, like what's gonna happen if your focus goes more on yourself. Like there's that distracting worry, fear there. There's that fear of leaving other people to protect themselves. I'm getting here when Spirit is saying that these other people are meant to face certain lessons on their own, that they're meant to walk their own path. It's just this caution, throw caution to when maybe there might be an underlying distraction there to yourself, avoidance, or that feeling like everybody needs you to be their pillar of strength when you need to sit by yourself, when you need some time to be vulnerable and be comfortable and lay down or let out those emotions that have been pent up inside you for so long. You deserve yourself. You deserve that healing. You deserve that focus on yourself. And even though it's kind of uncomfortable, if this is truly your shadow, it's gonna feel very uncomfortable at first. And allow yourself to give more room to you. Spirit is saying other people will make it on their own. I mean, of course we have duties, like if we have kids and things like that, of course, but let's talk about like other adults, for example, like your friends, your spouse, if you have a spouse or a partner or whoever. Like they're capable of also filling their own cup, and you need room for you. And Spirit is just saying to try to catch yourself if you start feeling that instinct, like if you're starting to feel selfish for spending time on yourself, if you're starting to feel selfish for having your own needs or taking some time away. The people meant for you will be there when you get back as well, Spirit wants to say. You have a very creative, brilliant mind, but it feels like there might be a little bit of avoidance. You might be keeping your mind busy to a degree. Some of you, maybe some of you have already been through this, and you already know that this has happened for you before, or was previously true, and this could just be validation about this for you on your path. I just saw an ocean in my mind's eye. Let's get some more cards pulled for you. Ask the tarot what else they have to say in regards to your shadow and light. You will become the most empowered healer by being more selfish. Like you could really benefit from being more selfish. You're not used to other people giving to you. Maybe you pour a lot of time, energy, support into other people, like I was saying before. Alright, we have the Five of Wands here. This feels like inner conflict more than anything. It can be external conflict. Sometimes it can indicate like competition, jealousy, fighting, but we'll get more information on that. This feels to me more like an inner conflict, like you fighting with yourself. This feels like maybe because you've spent so much time tiptoeing around the needs of others to make sure that you never anger anybody, that they always feel heard, support, and validated. But it's like, where are your needs in the process? Where are your opinions in the process? Where's your voice at? And while you're prioritizing other people, which is good that you make other people feel validated, seen, and heard, it's okay for you to cause a little bit of a rift, to rattle the cage of people's realities a bit by showing up and having a voice of your own or coming to your own conclusions on things. It's okay to have a direction. Sometimes if we are in the midst of more people-pleasing behaviors, we can tend to get more wrapped up and adjusting to other people, that we don't come to form a true opinion of our own. And this is just a reminder that it's okay for you to have your own opinion. It's okay for you to disagree. It's okay for other people to become angry because you disagree or you say something that they don't like or agree with. It's okay to cause a little bit of confrontation sometimes too. Confrontation can be very healthy, and a lot of times that can be a counter intuitive message in a way than what we received when we were younger or what we were taught. We may have this underlying belief that conflict is just the most horrible thing in the world, got to avoid it at all times. But this can also tie back to that people-pleasing nature of putting other people's needs above your own, making sure the social harmony is in check. But when you do this, you're not always being authentic to yourself, and that's the part of you that needs to be nurtured, seen, and heard. We have the Ace of Cups. Specific message that is coming through here. Some of you, there may be somebody that your heart feels very drawn to. This is a very specific message, so again, it's not going to resonate with everybody. But maybe you have a friend or somebody that is interested in the same person, and it's like you're feeling selfish for wanting to go after what your heart wants. And Spirit is saying, like, don't just give in because somebody else wants somebody too. Like, if they're in a relationship and stuff, like, that's different. But like, Spirit is specifically telling me to tell you that to stand up for yourself here, to put your own needs first, do what makes your heart happy. I feel like there's somebody in your life, and this can be in regards to love now, or just other areas, because this feels like a message that is coming through for others as well here, now in different areas. But this to me feels like there's might be somebody in your life that you're tiptoeing around. You're constantly giving to them, constantly making sure that their emotions are in check, that they're not bothered. You're constantly making sure that they're not bothered by your actions, decisions, choices, or like, this doesn't even have to be with love. This can be like more broad message for those of you, like, if there's something that you want to do, try, explore, even creatively. This can go in so many different directions, but there might be somebody who wants the same thing, or because you want it, now they want it, like that kind of energy. Or they're making you feel like they're the only one that can do a certain thing or have this, or something along these lines. And Spirit is saying that they need to keep their own ego in check. It's not for you to keep that in check for them. It's time for you to put yourself first. It's time for you to stand up for the things that you believe in and do the things that you want to do, not the things that this other person wants to do. It's like they expect you to be their own orbit. They expect you to orbit around them and everyone else to orbit around them as well. And I feel like it's been eating at you. It's been annoying you. You may be feeling more empty because it's time for you to focus on yourself, because you've been putting this person's needs and world above yours. It's like you've been more wrapped up in this other person's life than you have been your own. And then you get to the point where you're wondering, like, well, where is my own world? Because I am constantly catering to this other person, listening to them. Like, how often do they ask you how you're doing? And you can't control if they do that. Like, you can bring it up, and then sometimes I feel like for some of you, this might be somebody that either gets snappy or acts offended when you try to bring these kind of things up, or may gaslight you. It's not going to be for everybody, because sometimes talking it out can help. But I feel like it's time to put your own needs first, disappear into your own world for now, and do something for yourself. Have that freedom. Do the thing that's true to you. We have that Lovers card here too, which to me, this can really represent decisions made by the heart, being authentic to yourself, doing what feels good for you in regards to, it can be love, literally, or other areas of your life. This is my authenticity card, or at least I look at it like that. I read it like that. Making decisions based on what is it that you want? What is it authentically that you want to do for yourself? For some of you, this is a new opportunity. This could be a creative endeavor. This could be a job. This could be so many different things, or a new beginning that you're afraid. It's like you're afraid to rock the boat with somebody else. But Spirit is saying, like, it's time. It's time for you to rock the boat, or it's time to prioritize your own decisions, your own needs, and have this new start. If somebody doesn't agree with it, then they don't have to be a part of this new chapter of your life. You deserve to be valued, seen, heard. And I feel like the more that you do this, the more you're going to attract in the kind of people that reciprocate more with you, that I'm hearing like less toxic for your well-being, because you're putting yourself first. So now other people are going to want to pour more into you, or you're going to attract people that are more like that radiate more from that. You empower others by empowering yourself. Don't be afraid to rock the boat when it comes to making the authentic decision for yourself. What will make you the most happy in your life? Go your own direction, Spirit said. Alright, we have Spider Woman. She who creates from a central source. Exactly. You're getting to know your own self, your own universe, and operating decisions from this space. I made a TikTok reading recently, and it was a collective message about like some shadow work coming to the surface, and shadow coming to the surface a lot in the collective lately, at the time that I'm filming this. And one of the things that had come up was about making decisions based on what you feel you deserve. So no longer acting from the space of lack, from the space of not feeling good enough, because whatever you do from here is going to manifest the next chapter of your reality. And I feel like that's an important thing, or a thing that I kind of want to bring up, because I feel it's really relevant to you, or be good advice for you. And I feel like that's a good focus. Focusing on the empowered decisions, making decisions that are right for you, even if it feels wrong to other people. Be a bit selfish. Do it. That's what Spirit wants you to know. Like, you deserve to be your own source of comfort and have the life that you want to have. I feel like you show up so much for others, and it's time for you to do the things that make you happy. Other people can fulfill their own needs just like you need to fulfill your own. I just heard Spirit say it's time for a rising star. You're doing a lot of healing, a lot of empowerment, self-empowerment. You're finally operating from your own central source. So let's get a final message to close out your reading with. One more Spirit, one more card. Cycle, honor your phases. This feels like be patient with yourself. This feels like honor your emotions, even the darker ones, even the more upset ones, even the angry ones. Honor your own sacred anger. Honor your feelings. Honor when you don't feel like your needs are being heard. When you feel like you're being ignored, unheard, seen. This is telling you like there's something being triggered in you to where you're not showing up there for yourself. Like other people may be taking a lot from you, but in the process it's like you're deprecating yourself from yourself. And this is a message of don't be afraid to go within, to honor your more negative emotions too. Acknowledge those painful feelings, acknowledge some of the negative emotions. Like if you're feeling angry at someone, or angry with yourself, or whatever this is, don't try to suppress this or just make it go away. Acknowledge it, sit with it, nurture it, validate yourself with it. And it's okay to have those feelings, because it's telling you where your needs are. It's telling you what you want in life. It's telling you, it's a compass for your own inner healing, your own inner journey. So sometimes your power can be found in what you don't perceive to be your strengths. Sometimes it explodes in this way. Sometimes it fuels our creativity as well. Sometimes it makes us a more empowered leader. And it's okay for you to sit with those and acknowledge that. If you feel like other people aren't acknowledging your feelings, or maybe you're not even, maybe some of you aren't talking about them, just know like it's okay to sit with those and have those, and for those to exist and for you to hear them. You need to hear your own feelings. You need to acknowledge, honor that, and learn what you need from that. I just heard you feel neglected. Honor your own cycle. Create from a central source. Alright, this is all I'm seeing for you, group number 1. I hope that you enjoyed your reading. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. I really do value and appreciate reading your feedback. And if you are new to my channel and you enjoyed this video and like to see more like it, please consider subscribing. If you are interested in a more in-depth reading, my services are listed in the video description down below. I'm currently offering readings through my Etsy shop. Booking depends on availability, so if you are interested in a more personalized reading, go ahead and look down there. And I hope to talk to you all in the next reading. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, group number 2. For those of you who are drawn to this group, hello and welcome to your reading. We are going to be getting some information through water scrying and also scrying with this black mirror right here. So with your shell, we are going to be finding out some messages about your light side. Then with your black scrying mirror, we're going to get some messages from your shadow self. You are somebody that other people really enjoy being around. I feel like your presence is comforting to other people. You always go out of your way to put a smile on other people's face. I feel like you're the kind of person where even if you're having a rough day, you don't want it to affect other people. So you do the hard work, you keep your nose down. You're a very hard worker, in fact. You are somebody that keeps a lot under the surface, but you are like this bright, shining light in the lives of other people. You are very helpful. I feel like you're a very helpful person in all areas of your life. The strangers, in the workplace, even knowing you on a personal level. There's a lot of people that don't actually get to know you because you're always taking the time to get to know other people, hearing other people out, making them feel comfortable, making them laugh. I feel like you have a very good sense of humor and you bring joy to a lot of people's lives. Spirit is showing me that you have very good taste. Whether this is in film, literature, and you use it as a tool to connect with others especially. You are likely a trendsetter. People follow your lead in a lot of ways and you take pride in doing so. A lot of people see you as somebody that may inspire them. You are somebody that sets a lot of trends. You are somebody that uplifts the energy of a room just by your smile. You're also very intelligent. You can have deep conversations, deep intellectual stimulating conversations. So not only do you lift the energy of a room, not only do you make people laugh, but there's nothing surface level about you and who you are. You're not a surface level person. You're very deep-minded. You have a mesmerizing mind, and other people are very fascinated by what you have to say, or you even, to a degree, may have a sense of mystery about you. People can tell by looking at you that your mind penetrates very deeply. Your mind is fascinating. You have a lot of fascinating thoughts, a lot of fascinating words. You help people to see things in a new way. People feel like everything that you bring to the table is beautiful, is remarkable. You're probably very artistic. You're probably very creative. You're very, very talented. People see you for your talents as well. And you inspire other people to get creative. You inspire other people to hone in on their own talents or find what they may be. You help other people to see things in a new way, to go in different directions that they may have previously not even considered before. You have a very strong influence on other people. Pour out this water, and then we will get into your scrying mirror for your shadow side. I want to issue a trigger warning here because in reading the shadow self, I may say some things that if you're not ready to hear them or open to hearing them, they can be quite triggering. So I do want to give this trigger warning. Please only watch this when you feel ready to. But I'm just going to intuitively read what I feel here. Remember, since this is a general reading, only take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. I see yourself keeping yourself busy with humor, with tasks, similar to pile number 1, but this feels more so like you taking on that role of a life of the party when needed, or you naturally do. But deep down under the surface, maybe you feel like people are in love with a shell. People really don't know what lurks under the surface of your mind. With so much creativity, there's also a lot of dark thoughts. And if you're not aware of this on the surface, this is your subconscious mind influencing you. These are thoughts within your subconscious mind. Sometimes in your subconscious, your inner child suffers with feeling greed, suffers from taking what it wants. And again, this is a general reading. This is just belief patterns in your subconscious mind. Maybe you feel like you're like this, so you are suffocating your dark self, your dark side. You don't vocalize the things that you're really thinking. So on the inside, it's like you are suffocating on your own, in your own thoughts, in your own darkness, in your own dark thoughts. I feel like it's a constant battle with who others think you are versus the chaos that lurks in your mind. You are very self-critical, group 2. You struggle with that line between your creativity and your self-deprecating thoughts. You always feel like you can be doing better. You have a seductive air about you, but it's like you're only wanting to please other people, because at times you feel like a little bit of a shell of a person, but you have so much creativity, so much thoughts that stretch beyond the horizon. You're ahead of your time in this way. You're almost in a different world with it. But I'm feeling with this comes a very harsh view of reality. One filled of pain, one that has seen pain, one that has seen a form of torture in a sense. You torture your own self with your mind. Nobody knows the hidden depths underneath, and you're scared to show that to them because you don't want other people to see the world through the lens that you have, or see yourself through the lens that you have. There's so much that you may at times cover through dark humor even. That's something I'm getting for somebody very specific here. You put a lot of time, energy, and effort into your physical appearance, but it feels like you're barely holding on at times. You're making yourself presentable to others, while feeling like maybe you're burning out on the inside, trying to keep up with life, trying to keep up with impressing people, trying to keep up this appearance of perfectionism. You're harder on yourself than anyone else, and people would really love you without the styled hair, without you constantly being the one to hold up the life in the room and with the people around you. You're a magnetizing person. You're very charming, whether you realize this about yourself or not. But with that, I feel comes so much effort on your end. But you feel like on the inside, you've got to hide the way you really feel about yourself. You've got to hide the fact that you're torturing yourself with your innermost thoughts. People don't see the way in your perfectionism. What they see is the outer results of this. The outer efforts of your perfectionism. They don't see it as the perfectionism itself. But on the inside, it's like every time you perfect yourself or attempt to, you're stripping away a part of yourself that feels empty. You are feeling like you've run out of fuel to keep going. You're feeling lethargic, like how can I keep going? How can I keep this up? Sometimes you wish that you could just see things the way that other people see things about you. You wish that you could let go of some of this perfectionism and be more carefree. You want to break. I feel like you're very burnt out. You're very burned out. You're running off of fumes. And people see you become distant sometimes, and they don't understand what's lurking under the surface. They don't understand all the time, energy, effort you put into making other people feel good or holding up the life of the room when you really just needed some time to yourself. You really just needed a day off. And Spirit is actually encouraging those of you who may be feeling burnt out by your job to take a day off. Take a small vacation if you can. It's okay to go in times of solitude and quiet, to comfort yourself, to let your hair down, to take the gel out of your hair, and just lay back and relax, knowing that you're not responsible for the energy of the room. To find freedom outside of your perfectionism. You are beautiful just the way that you are. And you're most beautiful when you're relaxed. So I'm going to be drawing some cards for you now, group number 2. I keep hearing the Spirit say how deeply creative you actually are. You're ahead of your time with your creativity, with your brilliant mind. It's just that inner critic of yours. It may sometimes prevent you from thinking that your ideas are good enough, when a lot of times, not to brag, but they're a lot ahead of the curve of the people around you. I heard Spirit say, shoot your shot. Don't worry so much about having a perfect result. And Rama, where are you being called to journey to? That one almost came out. Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. On the bottom of the deck, I feel called to show you this card, Trust the Niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? There's a barrier between you and other people. And I feel like this barrier is actually the distance between you and yourself. There is a creative idea you may have that you're hesitant to take action on. There's something that you may feel like you're not good enough for, but deep down you know that you're the person for this job. Your life is a blank canvas, Spirit just said. You can seek harmony by also enjoying your solitude, exploring yourself, The relationship you have with the world is also a reflection about your relationship with yourself. You have that harsh inner critic whispering to you past failures, ways you could have done better. Maybe there was somebody like this that was extra hard on you as a child. So you see everything that you do through a tainted lens, where other people actually see beauty out of you and the things that you do, the things that you create. To you, it's not good enough. To you, everything that you do doesn't measure up to what it could be, because you inherently, deep down under the surface, may feel like that you are not enough. You don't know how to view yourself. You don't know how other people view you. It's almost like a form of dysmorphia in a way, a tainted lens, not being able to see your accomplishments, not being able to see your impact. But I want to tell you that the way that you impact people the most is by impacting yourself. Embrace yourself while you're being carefree. Instead of judging the finished product or ways you could have done better, just let it flow freely. You have a very creative mind that deserves to run like flowing water. I got a message for you as well. Take how it resonates, but I'm feeling like your heart is calling you a certain direction, but maybe you're afraid of the judgment of your family, of your peers. You're doing one thing that makes you feel completely dry, that makes you feel burned out, that you don't feel passion towards, when your heart is calling you in a different direction. Spirit is encouraging this other direction for you, the most authentic direction for you. You're good enough for your dreams, and you don't have to worry about the expectations of others with this. Maybe you feel selfish, or like your life will never be good enough if you go in the direction that opposes the way you were raised to be, or the way that society told you that you had to be. Like, say you're working a 9-to-5 job, but art has always been your passion, music has always been your passion. There's something else. Those are just examples, but there's something else your heart is calling you to do that you really love doing, that your soul is craving. Your dreams are your dreams for a reason. And Spirit wants to define the direction for you. Let go of disappointing other people, of that expectation you placed on yourself because of the expectations placed on society as you were growing up. People don't have to understand the world you're creating for yourself. You're meant to challenge either old belief systems, a way of doing things. You're meant to express your artistic side. You're meant to express your inner soul. Bring it to the surface in a creative way, in the way that suits you. Because I feel like you're going to help change a lot of perspectives as well in what you're doing. It's like your soul seeks to create beauty in a way, but you're stuck doing something else that doesn't fulfill you. And your soul wants you to go in the direction that is calling you, because this other way is sucking the life out of you. Let's just get one card, Spirit. And this one right here. Your soul wants to explore your emotional depth. You want to explore more of your own inner world. Maybe you're getting so tired of trying to please everyone else or doing what everyone else is doing. You're tired of putting these shackles on your own wrists, on your own self. And you're ready for a change, a new direction. And this is Spirit's confirmation for you that it's time to do so. That it's okay to start expressing the side of yourself, To let go of the rigid structure that society made you believe that you had to have, and to flow with your authentic self, to flow in your creativity, to express your emotions and your own vulnerability. To know it's okay to have emotions in this harsh, cold world, this world that is harsh and cold sometimes. It's okay to stand out. It's okay to be different. It's okay to not fit in with the other people around you. It's okay if maybe your friends have other ambitions than you do that are completely different direction. And if yours are different, if they're seen as a dream, whereas your friends feel like their way has stability, it's okay for you to take the path less traveled, and your soul is calling you to do so. I'm getting the sense that some of you are obsessed with fitting into society or pleasing others, that you're drowning out your own soul and it's burning out your physical body. It's affecting you on the surface. It's starting to make you feel lethargic, or maybe you felt like this for a long time. You've been trying so hard possibly to fit in somewhere where you just feel like you're a piece to a different puzzle. Spirit wants to validate this and reflect this back to you. This card's wanting to come out. We have the Two of Cups. We have the Moon. For some reason, Spirit wants you to know that you have so much to offer in relationships as well. Or maybe there's a certain person that your heart is calling you towards, and you want to focus on yourself for once, and Spirit is saying it's okay. It's okay to listen to that inner desire of yours. It's okay not to fit in with society. The Moon can speak about the subconscious, the unseen, intuition, secrets, even to a degree. And the Two of Cups can represent connection with others. You have a lot to give in romantic relationships as well. That's a message for somebody. A lot of depth. Anybody would be lucky to have somebody like you. We have the Chariot. Maybe you're afraid of disappointing a partner in your life as well. Or you're constantly making decisions to appeal to your partner. It's about time to release the shackles on yourself or other people's expectations. For some of you specifically, this is somebody that you're currently with or close to. Somebody that you are close to. That you feel like it's always their way, and there's resentment starting to build up because you're not honoring your own inner needs. Maybe it's time to stand up for yourself in a relationship. Even though it's scary, even though it could be detrimental, because you're not being authentic to yourself in some way. You have the Mother of Cups. For others of you, it's time to vocalize what you really desire, or maybe confess how you feel to somebody. Free yourself of this. Do something nice for yourself. Do something for you. Maybe some of you are ready to get back out there in the dating world, and this is confirmation for you. Like, it's okay to open up again. It's okay for you to find happiness again. It's okay for you to fall in love again. You feel like you've been doing so much for other people for so long that your soul longs for a deep connection, and maybe you already know who this person is. It's okay for you to want what you want. Spirit wants to tell you this. What you seek to feel is understood. You feel you want to be understood by your partner, or the people closest to you. You feel like you don't even need a whole lot of people around you to be happy. You just need a couple or a few close connections. And Spirit may be saying this in regards to the connections that you feel you have to maintain with a whole bunch of people. And they're saying it's okay to go into a bit of a hermit mode. It's okay to live a life different than what you have lived so far. It's okay to have a change of path. Honor yourself to choose the person that you actually want to be with. For some of you, honor yourself to choose your own path versus what your family or parents wanted for you, or your coworkers, your colleagues. It's okay to live a life that others don't understand, and this is where you're going to find the most joy. We have Garnet, passion, sensuality, and grounding. Yes, some of you are really wanting to honor your own sensuality. You're wanting to honor what feels right to you, even if it means becoming a little recluse, if it means letting go of the expectations of the people around you, whether if this is in regards to love, career, life path, just who you are as a person, or maybe in your outer appearance. Maybe you're so used to trying to fit in with your outer appearance. For example, with Azurite, self-awareness, wisdom, and empowerment. Maybe you're so used to doing what you think other people will like. When, for example, say that other people like your hair a certain way, or they like your hair long or a certain color, and it's like deep down you just want to break out of other people's expectations. You're tired of doing it for other people when you want to break free, you want to be free, you want to be unhinged. Deep down your soul wants to be unhinged. Deep down, your soul wants to get away from the noise, and this is encouragement for you. You don't have to keep around people that are bringing your energy down because of the expectations of who they want you to be versus who you really are. It's like you're suffocating your own soul at the expense of what other people expect out of you or who they want you to be. And this is encouragement to get a little wild. Maybe bleach, for example, like bleach your hair if you have dark hair, if that's what you want to do, or dye it crazy colors, or don't be afraid to take the path less traveled, even when it comes to paths that you have not previously traveled. It's scary, it's new, it's unknown, but it's going to lead you to so many discoveries about yourself. It's going to lead you to happiness, fulfillment. Don't be afraid to be wild in the eye of society, safely, of course. Don't be afraid to not fit into that box. Don't be afraid to take your box somewhere else and then crush it and be free. To do something different, to travel in a new direction, no matter what other people think, no matter the scrutiny. Because what matters is how you feel about yourself. And I feel like as long as you keep trying to hold up this image for other people, you're going to feel almost dead inside. You're going to feel depleted. Who are you really doing this for? When what you really want is your freedom. What you really want is to be able to express yourself creatively. What you really want is to relieve some of the pressure in yourself to maintain so many connections when you just want a handful close to you. And that is perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay to want different things. And you're beautiful for this free version of you that's dying to come out and express itself. You're so creative. You're so unique. You're so authentic. Trust the free flow. Alright, that's all I'm seeing for you, group number 2. I hope that you enjoyed your reading. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below if it resonates with you. I really do value and appreciate reading your feedback. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing if you would like to see more content like this. If you are interested in a more personalized reading, remember this was a general reading. If you're interested in a reading from me, my service information is down in the description down below. I am currently offering services in my Etsy shop. Booking depends on the availability, so you can find my details down below in my description. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a beautiful day, much like yourself. Hello, group number 3. For those of you who are drawn to this group, hello and welcome to your reading. We are going to be starting off and getting some messages about your light side with the water scrying, and then afterwards we will be getting some messages about your shadow self with the black scrying mirror, and then we will hop right into the tarot and oracle cards. I'm picking up on a very divine feminine energy. Somebody that really utilizes the divine feminine within themselves, embraces this side of themselves. I feel like you have come a long way on your journey. You have come a long way to be able to really embrace this aspect of yourself. And we all have divine masculine and feminine energies within us. It doesn't matter what your gender is, so take that how it resonates for you. But I really am picking up somebody who really embodies their inner divine feminine. You radiate this. It took so much strength, resilience to achieve the level of grace and strength you have embodied within you. I feel like you are a good teacher, a good mentor to others. You have very potent words. You're very influential words. People are constantly looking at the things that you're doing, and it's like they're taking notes in a way. You're very influential. Your presence, your words, your abilities. Some of you may be gifted psychics yourself, or maybe in the public eye in some way. You don't have to be, but that is something I'm picking up for some of you. Remember, this is a general reading. You have an air of patience within you, of self-control. You're full of so much inner depth. I feel like you have really mastered your emotional body. You have a lot of empathy, and you have also learned boundaries. A lot of you, I feel like this is coming in for your light side. You truly do embody the divine feminine within you, and that may be a part of your life purpose here on this earth. Your words, I keep going back to your words being so influential. You have a very beautiful throat chakra energy to you. And maybe it took a lot of work to get here. That is something coming through. You see the good in other people. You have very beautiful intentions, very pure intentions for people. You want to see people succeed. You want to spread light to others. You want to spread cheerfulness to others. You really put the needs of others before yourself. You have so much patience when it comes to other people. You're patient with others because you have learned to be patient with yourself. You have gone through a fair amount yourself, and instead of allowing this to either hold you down or keep you hardened, I feel like you've learned to balance your thoughts and your emotions. Your emotional body is very healing, and because you embody this, it's like people can really pick up on this energy about you. I'm seeing a lot of white sparkling energy. I'm seeing a powerful manifester. You might also be a really good writer, Spirit is telling me, for some of you watching this. The words that you are putting out into the world, or if you have a healing profession or whatever it is you do, they echo into people's lifetimes for years and years and years. It really sticks with them. It really stays with them. You have an uplifting energy, and I feel like you have learned to be your own power source. A lot of times when somebody is a highly sensitive person or considers themselves an empath or has a lot of psychic abilities, some of the life challenges can coincide with learning about how to be your own power source, how to emit this frequency from you and not just absorb it. And I feel like you can read and pick up on the energies of others so well, and you have learned, and I feel like it hasn't been an easy task to learn how to not absorb it or not absorb the negative opinions of other people. That's coming through here for some of you. You also help people heal through their traumas, I'm getting as well. You're like that. You're that supportive person, that beacon of light in other people's lives. You're a very supportive friend. You give so much positive reinforcement and feedback. It's like it's almost this healing energy to open wounds. Not that we can do the healing for others, but there's something very, very, very positive to your presence, to your words, to your throat chakra. You instill light in others. You encourage this. You encourage them to do their best job on things. You encourage them to follow their dreams. You make them you inspire people, and they feel like they are good enough because they've been around you. It reminds me of that saying, and I forget who it's by, but I really like this quote, and I'm probably gonna butcher it trying to recite it, about leaving people better than what you found them. And again, it's not that we do the work for other people. We can say things to people, we can emit energies if they're willing to accept them, but they have to be able to willing to put the work into themselves. But I feel like something about your voice, the words you speak, your light energy, your presence, you give hope to this world when it feels really dark. You really do. You become that voice of light. You change the frequency around you for those that enter your hemisphere, so to speak, and show them a new world, a new way of doing things, a new way of being, ways that they can better their lives, change their lives. You're a positive force in other people's lives. And I feel like again, you've done so much work, inner work on yourself. You have a very high frequency, a very high divine feminine energy to you. And again, we do have both the masculine and feminine energies within us. It's just, I feel like your divine feminine energy is very powerful, it's very empowered, and you help empower other people. And again, I keep getting like this white light. Okay, I'm going to pour out your water now, and then we will get started on your black mirror scrying. So one thing, okay, there's a couple things. Some of you may have a mouse for a spirit animal guiding you currently. You can look up what the meaning behind that is and apply it to your life. That doesn't have to be for everybody, but I am getting that vision in my mind of a mouse. And also, you have worked so hard to be standing where you do. Everything that you put out into the world, whether it's in your career, whether it's just in the way you carry yourself, the way you express yourself, the way that you show up in the world. A lot of people don't see the mountains that you have overcome, and some people do, and they are inspired by your ability to overcome these things and be the person that you are. For some reason, Spirit just said resist change. So whatever that means, maybe there's been some certain change that have been hard to overcome for you. So let me tune in to your scrying mirror. I almost feel this locked feeling. So sometimes when a lot of times I should say, when our light shines so vivid, so brightly, when we're focused so much on the light aspects and we reject those of the shadow, I feel like maybe there's certain things lingering underneath the surface that you reject in yourself, and this very much is a reflection of your shadow self. Okay, trigger warning. Maybe there's certain memories that you've even repressed, for some of you specifically, because you don't want to focus on that. You don't want it to hinder your path by remembering these things or bringing them too much attention. But Spirit is saying, like, it's okay for you to have a moment to release all the baggage and the weight you have been carrying on your shoulders, especially from the past. There were some self-limiting beliefs cast upon you growing up and getting here. You're striving for perfection. This came up in one of the other groups as well. I'm not going to say which one, but if you felt drawn to a different group, this may be an indicator to go ahead and watch that group too. But there's this air of perfectionism to you at times, but there's also an air of selflessness here. There's an air of selflessness. It's almost like you may tend to block out the past, or not even necessarily the past, it's what is tied to it, the emotions, the old thoughts, the old memories. You may stuff this down because you feel like you have to upkeep being this beacon for other people. A lot of people have placed a lot of high expectations on you. You were probably very huge leaders with a lot of emotional mastery, and you have done a lot of trauma work. I'm getting a lot of work on yourself, and you're very powerful manifestors. But again, it's almost like there's part of yourself that you're blocking off. And at times it's like, I just saw an image here of like a zipper going over the mouth. Like you don't even want to talk about it. You don't even want to be open to it. When you're put in such a high position, sometimes no matter what it is you do, or you're held up to a high standard by others, sometimes it's hard to be the one to accept guidance from other people, because you're trying to live up to those expectations. You don't want to be a failure, I'm getting here. And again, take what resonates with you. This is regarding your shadow self, and it may not be easy to hear, but sometimes it's a little bit of imposter syndrome going on here. It's like, because people view you in such a high light, or may have put you into this, it almost boxed you in. And sometimes you have that fear, like maybe you don't belong in the state you are. Maybe you're not as trustworthy, even though you are. Maybe like having those internal struggles or showing those to the world will deteriorate other people's hope for the future, when honestly your tribe that is meant for you will be inspired by your journey. They will accept you being a human being and not being perfect, and that is perfectly okay. You don't want to let other people down, I'm getting here. I'm seeing a white butterfly as well in my mind's eye. You do have such an angelic energy about you, a very warm, loving energy. I feel like your heart and throat chakra are very intertwined, and you just have this fear of letting other people down, of not living up to their expectations if they see that you're not perfect or you don't know every single thing about whatever this is, whether this is like your craft, whether this is a spiritual practice, whether like just anything in general. Maybe you felt like a specific message for somebody. Maybe you felt like you got in a position at a younger age than is expected, and because of that, you have this underlying fear that maybe you're not good enough or as experienced as what you should be, or the people that are older than you that got into the position you're in are doing what you do, for example. And Spirit is wanting you to know that you have a lot of ancient wisdom to you. You were put on this earth for a reason. You are in the position you are for a reason. People are going to accept that you are human, and if they don't, then they really need a reality check about the pedestal that they put people on and the expectations that go along with that are unfair, because your true self is sparkling, it's powerful, it's empowering, and you deserve that kind of freedom for yourself. And you deserve some time to rest as well when needed. And again, it keeps going back to feeling like this energy of fear of disappointing people. You're so selfless. You are very selfless. You just want to help others. You feel it is your mission to help others, and you do help others. And part of this earthly experience, because you are such a high frequency being, part of this earthly experience is to experience being imperfect, is to experience what it is to be human. So it's like you're this guiding light in other people's lives, but it's like, even if you're human, you still have those wings, so to speak. You still have that. You're still a guiding figure. You're in the position you are because you deserve it. Nobody can do the job that you're here to do specifically better than you. You were meant for this. Even if other people are doing similar things, I feel to tell you, like, this is what you're destined to be doing. And it's okay to show up authentically. It's okay if some people expect you to be certain ways that you're not, and if you disappoint them, because we are all human at the end of the day. We all have our faults. We're always growing. We're always learning. And I feel like if we weren't learning, like, even if you are like a spiritual leader, for example, even if you're still learning, you're still growing, that doesn't mean that you're not meant to be a leader. And again, it's this feeling of that imposter syndrome. It's that feeling like maybe I really don't belong here, or maybe I'm not good enough is what I present myself to be, or maybe I'm not what I present myself to be at all. But Spirit wants you to know that they're all aspects of you. I just saw angel wings spreading out in my mind's eye, and I heard count every feather, whatever that means. But you deserve to follow your passions as well, Spirit has said. You are allowed to express all aspects of yourself, and this might be very freeing for you. Some of you may be into music specifically and songwriting, and this might be a good outlet for you to express more of your human side, to express those imperfections or those darker emotions, to express what it is you're feeling, or the non-spiritual seeming things. Spirit wants you to know that it's okay to embody all of this, because when you're not acknowledging that that part of you exists, you're shunning out part of yourself that is there, and you don't feel as whole. Let me see if there's anything else I can pick up from your scrying mirror here in regards to your shadow. Some of you have very overachieving tendencies, and yeah, you want to do good. You want to be the best at what you do. You put so much hard work into determination, and you have so much healing abilities, so much positive influence, and you really do positively act. You really do positively impact the people that come into contact or hear your words or experience your healing gifts. I just heard you impact people with your music as well. But Spirit is saying you are even more impactful when you embody even your shadow side too. Those less appealing emotions to people that expect perfection out of you, out of a human, when you are still human in this flesh body. Your heart is tugging you to go a different, like some of you, your heart is really tugging you to go a different direction. But there's that fear of leaving other people behind in a way. There's that fear people are not going to understand your choices, or like your mission that you've been carrying out is just so big that you don't want to let people down. But spirits are saying like it is okay to do both. That's a specific message for somebody, and you've got to do what's right for you first. You're the best healer you can be when you're also filling up your cup first. And this ties back to, I think, the part about boundaries as well. Maybe some of you are still learning this, and you have come a long way. There's something, okay, at the time, this is a timeless reading, but at the time I'm filming this, I'm getting a specific message for somebody. Like, this year is a lot about balance for you, learning how to balance. I don't know who needed to hear that, but that's something I feel someone needed to hear out there, that you're learning balance this year. This year is very much about learning balance for you. And I think that's the line between what you expressing your human side and being okay with that, what you keep to yourself, and being that guiding light for others. Alright, so let's get on to your cards. I just heard a specific message. Spirit said film and acting as well, so some of you may be into film, into acting. So let's get some more messages regarding your light and shadow side. You're very much so learning balance. You're diving into both light and shadow aspects of yourself and balancing them both in harmony. Learning to say no when needed, learning to do what's best for you, whether people like it or not. You're authentically showing up as yourself. So we have here birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. It's like you're creating heaven on earth in a way I'm getting here. You're very connected to star ancestors, or you have ET guides, or even angelic guides. You bring beauty into this world and transmutation and whatever it is that you create and birth, whether that's music, whether that's speaking on a channel like this, like I am right now. Maybe you do that yourself. Maybe that's painting. Maybe your hobbies switch. And Spirit is saying, like, no matter what it is that you're creating, it's the energy, the frequency that you emit when you do it. When you're putting your heart chakra energy into something, when you're putting your heart into something, oh, I'm not going to take all of those. When you're putting your heart chakra energy into something, your heart into things, I'm feeling like it creates a piece of heaven on earth. It brings a new frequency. Some of you may even channel divine energy when you do this, divine feminine energy especially. We have Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundation, divine plan. You're a very high vibrational being. A lot of people look to you for guidance. You are a divine messenger. I feel like a lot of you probably are very psychically gifted. You may be psychics, mediums. You may do tarot readings, or however that is for you. You may even do sound healing, I'm getting here. Or you may be intuitive artists. Whatever it is that you birth into this world, changes it for the better. So no matter what it is, what form you're doing, or if you're doing multiple ones, you're just flowing with yourself. You're doing what you're meant to be doing in this world, as long as it's coming from your heart, as long as you're emitting with passion. And I feel like some of you needed that validation. When you start feeling called to do something else, even if it's vastly different from the work you already put out, or if you want to tweak it somehow or do things differently, Spirit wants you to know that you have that pull to do things for a reason. If it's in your heart space, it's meant for you to create in whatever form you feel passionate about. Or if you want to change things up and you're afraid of it disappointing an audience because maybe they got used to you doing things a certain way and they like whatever you put out, Spirit is saying, like, they'll get over it, basically, because what you're meant to be doing is flowing, because you're channeling divine energy from the heavens. You have so many psychic gifts. I'm noticing the Sphinx in the background of this specifically. A lot of ancient knowledge. Maybe you remember your past lives, or you help other people remember their past lives. You bring forth a lot of ancient wisdom, a lot of gifts from other lifetimes, and I feel like you're meant to be a teacher. For some reason, Spirit said you might be a master number life path, so that's like 11, 22, yeah, and so on. Those double-digit numbers. So I feel this bottom one right here, the threshold. Some of you are wanting to take a leap of faith in some way, so this feels like further confirmation. And it's like you want to dive fully into your passion. You want to dive fully into who you feel like you are, and you feel like you're ready for this, but you're still about to make that leap, or you're not fully making that leap. And Spirit is saying, like, it's okay to go your own way. It is, do what you feel called to do. The people that are meant to follow you, like if you have a platform, for example, the people that are meant to be part of your tribe will either be drawn to you, you'll have more new people drawn to you, or they'll stick around, or they may meet you energetically again one day. Don't be afraid for your path to change or shift slightly if it feels like the direction that you're meant to take, because if it's in your heart, it's in your heart for a reason. You're very divinely guided in your heart space. You get a lot of divine messages in your heart space. You operate so much from your heart space, and that's where a lot of your divine feminine energy comes from. You inspire a lot of people as well. I'm noticing all of the orange and yellow energy down here, especially the orange. So I feel like you're really activating your solar plexus and sacral chakras, especially your sacral. I feel like you're really letting go of shame, of feeling powerlessness or helpless. You're letting that go because you're choosing yourself, and you're letting people fall away if they're not meant to be there. You may be thinking about making a huge transition in your life that may shock a lot of people, but it's going to shock people in a good way, I heard. Oops, I don't like to shuffle those face up usually, so I'm going to do that again. I don't like to see the cards that I'm pulling when I shuffle. Okay, I feel this bottom one. We have the Two of Swords. Yeah, it's that battle between expectations of whether you should take the leap of faith or not. And I'm noticing more of that similar color. You see this? That orange and yellow? Just like this card. You're really stepping in your divine power. You're balancing your masculine and feminine energies. You're really taking time to also heal your divine masculine energy, I heard. To take a leap of faith, to take action. You're wondering when the right time is, or when you should go through with this. It's like you're blocking yourself from your opportunities, but it's coming in so strong that you have no choice to listen to it. Like, the desire you have is that powerful. You have a voice that is calling to be heard. especially with that gifted throat chakra of yours. We have the Hierophant, or Hierophant. I feel like I always butcher how to say that. That key is really standing out to me. We have the Seven of Wands and the Lightning Bolt. This feels like taking a chance, that leap of faith, even if it goes against conventions, or more so I'm feeling like other people's expectations. Because you're meant to shock people at some point in your life when you make transitions. You're meant to have that pivotal transition, that pivotal transformative moment in your life, because it's also going to impact other people. Spirit wants you to know in a positive way. You're meant to change the lives that you change, to help administer that, I should say. You are meant to be that torch no matter what it is you're doing, and you're a leader. You're a leader of transition too. Don't be afraid to do things that don't make sense to other people, because I feel like you're more so helping them when you do. Okay, we have the Hermit. I'm noticing more of that flame. Okay. Another flame. Some of you do need some time for solitude as well. And that might be what is kind of controversial, you think, to other people, because you're so used to doing things maybe in a routine way that people have gotten used to. Especially if you offer some kind of service, if you have a platform, people get used to seeing you on certain days or something along these lines. And it's just, you want rest though, you want freedom, you may want to travel even too, is a message that I'm picking up intuitively. Yeah, you're ready to go against the odds. I just heard you're ready to get some sleep. You're ready to claim your own power and your way of doing things, and Spirit just wants to confirm that yes, you're getting the green light for this. Yes, you are an empowered leader. Pay attention to your own rhythms and cycles. Pay attention to what you feel pulled to do, because you're being pulled in that direction for a reason. Sometimes we need some time to rest so we don't burn out as well. I just heard a lot of people will like your new work, so that's a specific message for somebody out there. For group number 3, see, I did it like upside down again. I think there's a reason why that happened, and we do have that manifestation on the bottom, and I said you were powerful manifestors. I think it went in a different way than what I usually shuffle it, because usually I like to have it face down so I'm not looking at the cards, because I don't want it to be biased and like me choosing the cards or them flipping out or anything like that. Like I want it to feel like a surprise to me and you. But I feel like that happened for a reason, because it's like going against the odds, going against what other people expect, maybe even surprising yourself and taking that leap of faith. Another specific message: you're going to be secure no matter what it is you decide to do. The right people are going to love you for it. You're meant to be authentically yourself and a leader in this way. You are a powerful leader and an empowered leader. I could not get that word out. We have healing. Welcome healing into your mind, body, and life. This feels very much so like that Phoenix rising energy from your heart space. Again, I'm noticing like that more purple heart there. This feels like psychic ability to me. And this also to me feels like you can feel the energy of people watching you, paying attention to what you're doing, and maybe you're finally deciding not to let that influence you. You have done a lot of healing work on yourself. Maybe you feel like you're not quite there completely, especially in regards to other people's opinions. We have last quarter release. Excuse me if this sounds sort of choppy, but I'm just going to speak with what I'm getting because I'm channeling this message right now from these cards. Some of you, it's like in childhood, you may have felt scrutinized or like the underdog in a way, or like your voice wasn't heard or good enough, or just people didn't agree with your dreams and your ambitions or what you wanted to be, what you wanted to do, what your interests were. I feel like maybe you felt shunned for that or told that they were silly or stupid or something like that. Like they were ridiculed when they should have been encouraged. But it gave you more fuel too. But again, in your subconscious mind, that scrutiny still lingers there. Maybe you feel like the odds are always stacked up against you, and for this reason. And it's like you're putting all this hope into the universe. You're afraid of making the wrong decisions because it's hard for you to rely on yourself. Or you feel like it's hard for you to rely on yourself. It's hard for you to feel like you're doing this alone in a way. Maybe it's like you feeling like you have to make the decisions alone without any help, and it feels harder to do because of this internally to you, or on a subconscious level. Maybe you heard messages again of not being good enough, I heard, or like again, you're never going to amount to anything, or maybe you're too sensitive for this world, like that kind of message. I'm not telling you you're too sensitive for this world. That's what I feel like maybe some of you have heard. Maybe you were told that you were overly sensitive and you just felt like you didn't fit in with the world. You felt like you wouldn't amount to anything, but you still try anyway. You are different for a reason. You're meant to stand out. You're meant to bring a different frequency to this planet. Your dreams are your dreams for a reason. Your ambitions are your ambitions for a reason. Maybe you were built this way. Like if you feel like it's hard for you to stick to one thing, or like you're changing paths, maybe it's because you were meant to do different things. You were meant to do a bunch of things, perhaps. Like maybe you were meant to go in a whole bunch of different directions, or have a cycle doing this craft or this hobby or that hobby, or like bounce between different things. Because it's like even if you're bouncing between different things, it's that heart-based energy that you put into it, like that frequency that comes out of you, that was important, and you're still doing no matter what the medium is. Whether you're creating things with your hands, whether you're speaking, whether you're writing, whether you're doing something creative, whether you're doing something intuitive, whether you are going to school for hair, for example, or whatever this is. Like it can be so many different things, and maybe it's like you feel so scattered and almost like your compass is out of whack in a way, like just all over the place. And it's like you don't know what direction you're going because you're constantly being tugged back and forth. But Spirit is saying that you were just exploring the world as well, and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe somebody ridiculed you for going back and forth, for changing things so much, but you were built that way for a reason. And you might find something that you're steady with, or you might find that you like to explore, have these different cycles. Trust your own flow. Trust where your heart's leading you to. Some of you might feel like you get a little bit ungrounded by this at times, and you're just looking for that one specific life purpose thing. And Spirit is saying to just go with what feels right for you to do or create. Go your own path, even if it seems weird to other people, or people don't understand why you're changing things up. And it doesn't even have to be like a big life change. It could be something simple, like in the way that you do things and whatever it is that you do, or like changing your hair color, for example. I think I mentioned that in a different group as well. It can be so many different things. But Spirit's saying to trust yourself, that you're being led in the direction that you're meant to go, and that it's okay to have these different phases in your life, just like how the moon has its different phases. It's okay to flow with your own, for your phases to be different than other people. And that might also lead you to feeling like you can stick to one thing because you've allowed yourself to be guided and find your own self this way. Finding your own path doesn't have to be linear. Some people stick to something that they really hate doing, like for a job, for example. Life purpose is not necessarily always tied to a career. That's an important lesson, I think, for a lot of people to learn. I had to learn that myself as well. But I just saw an image of a snake shedding its skin. Yeah, it's okay to go through transformation. It's okay to bring out that inner light and rattle the boat a little bit for other people. Rock the boat. Rock the boat, because you're meant to rock the boat. You're meant to do things differently. Where you come from on a spiritual level is such a high frequency, and you're not used to doing things in the earthly ways, so to speak. I'm getting here. Like maybe you came from another planet in another life, or so many different things. Like you're a very high dimensional being. But it's okay to lead a life other people don't understand, and by doing that, you're actually coming into the path that was destined for you anyway. Your path isn't meant to be linear, and you don't have to feel shame for doing that, doing things differently, or making a big life change. If you feel called to do it, I just heard scared to rock the boat. It's okay to be different as well, as Spirit is saying. It's okay to choose that path less traveled, or the path that maybe your parents don't agree with, or the people around you don't agree with. It's okay. You're meant to be different, and if people scrutinize you for that, it's because they haven't come into their own sense of authenticity to know that it's okay for you to have your own path too, or that it can work out for somebody else. It's the self-limiting beliefs of others being cast onto you, or the fear of the unknown. And you have so much unknown energy because your soul is like almost not human in a way. You feel like you're from a different planet sometimes. But you're here to create a ripple of change. So this is all I'm seeing for you, group number 3. I hope that you enjoyed this reading and found it helpful. If you did, be sure to like and also comment. I really do value and appreciate reading your feedback. If you are new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. If you would like to get a personalized reading with me, my services are listed in the video description down below. I am currently offering readings in my Etsy shop. Booking depends on availability, so check that out if you are interested in getting a personal reading done by me. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day.